We all know Shriek as the final boss in Will of the Wisps. Once you defeat her, there isn't any more content in the game. However, what if I told you that isn't exactly true? Will of the Wisps does indeed have a secret boss, and once again, I'm going to try to beat it with Torch. From the Shriek well, load prologue and memory and pause as the game loads. Then just climb to the willow with launch like normal. You'll be locked from your wheel ability, so go to leaderboards to fix that. Open quick access and walk to the cutscene trigger. When you see that Seer starts to talk, immediately load Shriek.
Where the hell is the boss?
This is Void Shriek. The game freaks out when you load Shriek when the Willow cutscene is happening, probably because that is already the cutscene before Shriek. Don't worry though, Shriek is still there. In fact, you'll have to do the whole fight without being able to see her. While she may not be that different compared to normal Shriek, she has something else aside from her invisibility. Because we're in quick access, if at any point you die during one of the later phases, you'll be sent back to the very beginning. No phase checkpoints for you. I've already done a video of beating normal Shriek with Torch, don't watch that. But in order to get Torch all the way here, we need to do some setup. First things first, we can't ever get Sword in this file. Howl needs to be intact, and Sword immediately gets rid of his sequence. At the start of the game, do this Torch swing and buy Hammer as your first ability. Then get Bow, Sentry, and get D-Jump from the Burrows entrance. Fast forward all the way to the Willows, activate Shriekwell and pay Howl a visit. Go through his escape sequence until you get Torch. Then, just warp lol. The game never expects you to have warp anywhere at this point, so it doesn't bother deactivating it. Okay, now we can get started. Equip triple jump and die in the mist. Then do the pause menu glitch from earlier. When you're loading back into the world, you don't need to do anything regarding leaderboards. I do recommend selecting brightness though, because we have to do lots of inputs that collide with menuing. We can make it to the first platform without much issue, but we'll need to perform a feather jump for this next part. Jump, immediately hold feather, and once you're high enough, let go of feather and immediately jump again. We're going to use both D-jump and T-jump next to breach this wall. And thanks to T-jump, we can reach this next wall without much issue. T-jump really shines here, as this would be impossible otherwise. Contrary to what it looks like, you can actually reach this small platform with the height you can get from feather jumps and the other mid-air ones. Oh, and if you're wondering why we had to die before setting up this pause menu glitch, it's because the game would otherwise remove your equipped shards. Anyways, once you make it to the top, it's time to fight Void Shriek. The most interesting gimmick with Torch in this fight is that it locks you from using wheel abilities. One of her attacks gets a significant buff because of this. Normally, when she lunges horizontally on the arena, you'd launch upwards without a second thought, but that's a wheel ability. We have to pay much more attention to it, especially since she has those invisibility powers from the void. The moment you hear those screeches, start jumping. You need the height from a feather jump, double jump, and triple jump to make it over. I tend to do a safety torch swing and dash in order to stay above for as long as I can. Aside from that, the first phase isn't too different. When you get to the escape, the terrain is actually loaded. It's just Shriek and the main background that will stay unloaded from this point. Feather and triple jump can get us through most of the escape, but the pillar right before reaching her second phase poses a major issue. You see, burrowing, for some reason, removes Torch. While that sounds like it makes sense, Torch never melts the ice in bars or gives light in moldwood, even though it's literally fire. But it's possible to climb this whole thing with sheer will and a dream. There's a trick we can do where you have to take damage and immediately Torch swing to cancel the knockback. This is used to get the first keystone early in a speedrun. The pillar, of course, has way more spikes than that Inkwater example. Since this entails taking a lot of damage, I decided to get lots of health. By continuously timing the Torch knockback cancel on the spikes, you can reach the top and glide to Shriek's second phase. The timing on this one can be tricky. If you take too much damage, then you'll be sent back to the beginning, but you still need some health for her second and third phases. In this phase, the main thing to watch out for are her lunge variants. On top of her main one, she can now do 2 diagonal swoops. While they aren't that hard to dodge, you can't tell which one she's doing until the mist indicator appears. And if you start feather jumping at that point, you will get hit. I still recommend F-jumping when she shrieks in the background, then dash accordingly to dodge the attack. Another thing to note is the energy crystal. By itself, it doesn't do anything since we can't use energy anyway, but with a special little shard called Overflow, it becomes our holy grail. If you equip Overflow and have full energy, any energy you get from that point will count towards your health. This is the only way we can heal in this fight, and we are coming from a spike-infested pillar, which can definitely leave you at the Void's mercy. Depending on how many hits you can squeeze, second phase will probably take the longest. This whole fight, really, puts to the test just how well you know Shriek and her attacks. On normal mode, she's not that different. But on hard mode, you better know what she's doing. In my successful attempt, this was my build. Triple jump, overflow, fully upgraded resilience, fully upgraded finesse, and fully upgraded vitality. What implications does this have lore-wise? I have no dang clue.
Oh my gosh. I almost timed out. I almost timed out on that. That was insane. I have never come close to timing out on Shriek before. I actually forgot that Quick Access has timers for bosses. That's kind of messed up. That's the secret final boss. This is from normal Shriek, it doesn't count. I think I played way too passively on second phase. Most of my time loss has to be from... Okay, well, to be fair, like... wait a minute, what's the reward? What's the reward for defeating the secret final boss? She void on my Shriek until I will on the Wisps.